Let's start, and it's recording. Jai Shimanarayana.
Jai Shimanarayana.
Jai Jagannath. Thank you for participating and supporting the work of research and propagation of the Vedic knowledge.
A privilege, Mataji. It's my privilege and honor and my obeisances to you. And I've got a very interesting topic that I'd like to sort of discuss with you today.
Yeah.
May I introduce it, Mataji?
Sure. Go ahead.
I think the topic really is, what is a Hindu? What is your religion? I mean, nowadays, Mataji, you ask, there's an increasing emphasis on, we live in a multicultural, multipolar society where you're going to get a lot of people asking you, what do you believe in? What is a Hindu? What is Hinduism? And you're going to get asked this question by people with different intentions. Some people with pure curiosity, some people maybe to dissect what you say in order to sort of disprove it. Whatever the case, you're going to get asked this question. And I think with Christians and Muslims and other people, Jewish people, they tend to answer at least what they think their religion is with clarity. Yet when a Hindu is often asked this question, there's all sorts of confused answers. So what I'd like from you, Mataji, is to, when we are asked this question, how do we answer it? What are the core tenets of what we believe in? How do we express this when we are asked this question? And this also leads to another sort of spin-off, which is, obviously, Vaishnavism is a very common path, particularly amongst those people in the West. So it then begs the question, what is a Vaishnava? What would you define as a Vaishnava? And I'd love to hear your thoughts on this very important topic, Mataji.
Okay. Now, some of these I have already discussed in my book, Why I Became a Hindu.
Yes.
Which is also, especially in the first section of the book, first part of the book, is introducing the concept of Hinduism. What is Hinduism? And the confusion, because many people are confused, including Hindus, and unfortunately, including Hindu leaders.
Exactly, Mataji.
Even
and I've never been able
level,
to get. I've never been able to get clear answers.
Yes.
And I think, and this is why I'm asking you these questions, because obviously, over a cup of tea or coffee or something like that, when you're discussing this, you don't have much time. So you need to be able to explain these concepts in a very clear way, which leaves the listener with no doubt as to what you mean.
Yeah. And that comes to the point of another work that I have started to do, at least the first draft, because I have been asked about the different religions. So, because there is so much lack of information, and actually, unfortunately, there is also a lot of misinformation about religion. I have prepared. I started to work on this. This first draft, which is about religion. So, religion, let's try to understand what is the basic meaning of religion. Because there starts the confusion. Why Hindus are confused about Hinduism? Because they have been brainwashed into an inferiority complex,
That is really interesting because I wasn't expecting this as an answer initially. Let's
I know.
start with
I'm
religion.
always doing this kind of tricks.
No.
Yeah.
Because where
Yeah.
I was expecting you to say God is the supreme consciousness, etc. I was
Well,
expecting that
we
kind
can
of
get
answer.
there. We can get there.
Yeah. But that's
We need,
interesting that you've
we
said
need
that.
to start with the foundations. We need to have a common dictionary. Because if we don't understand each other on the basic terms, we can go on and on and on. Because if we think that 2 plus 2 is 5, and then I write all the entire book of equations, and what will be the result? We need to start from the ABC, which is something that people don't want to do, especially if they suffer from an inferiority complex. They loathe the idea of starting from the ABC.
No, let's start from the ABC because I don't know it. That's my point. So we have to start from the ABC.
That's good. So, first of all, religion. The word religion, is a Western word. It's not Sanskrit. It doesn't translate the Sanskrit word dharma. First of all, religion comes from the ancient Latin religare, which means to connect. In this sense, it can be associated with the Sanskrit term yoga. But what is the purpose of religion? How does religion connect? Now, each human being feels the need for religion. It's a natural instinct. We all want to connect. Because this is our nature. We are Atman, and we are all already connected with Brahman. We only want to understand it, to have the knowledge. The thought is already there, the chit is not developed. So we need to develop this consciousness, this awareness. So, in the general sense, all religions are aimed at connecting the individual with the Supreme. The worshipper, the devotee, or the follower, the believer, whatever, with something that is greater than him or her. Okay?
Yes, I'm with you so far.
Excellent.
Absolutely.
And also, the concept of religion, legally speaking, is what connects all the members of a same religious community. Now, why we speak of Hinduism? Because the term Hinduism is legally accepted, as a legitimate, genuine, authentic, bona fide religion, legally. If we say, like many Hindus say, oh, I'm not a Hindu, I'm a Sanatani. Yeah, okay. That means you are forfeiting, you're waiving your human rights of freedom of religion. Because Sanatana is not a recognized religion. Dharma is not a recognized religion. Vaishnava is not a recognized religion. Doesn't have legal right, international legal rights. It's not a human right. So unfortunately, we have to keep the umbrella Hinduism. Okay. Now, the information about Hinduism has been written down legally and academically by academic mainstream Indology, which is colonial in nature, and it's Abrahamic and post-Abrahamic in nature. So all these definitions pretty much are irrelevant in regard to the contents of Hinduism. So the word Hinduism should be the umbrella, not the person. Should help us to work in the world, in human society, in a globalized community. Just like we can start a society, an association, we can call it whatever we want. We want to call it ISKCON. Okay, we can call it ISKCON, but it is an association, it's a society. It's a legal umbrella. It's not the sampradaya, it's not the parampara, it's not the vigraha of Krishna, it's not an avatar. It's an umbrella. It was meant to be an umbrella. Now, when we speak about Hinduism, people immediately think, okay, Hinduism, okay, India, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So many people think that all India is Hindu. So you go to Wikipedia, I went to Wikipedia, and I went this is, I don't know if I can easily open it. We have desktop, and we have okay, let me see, religions. I have been working about religion, first draft. Yeah. You are not seeing it because
at the moment I can't see.
I know because I am not sure I can do the presentation. Let me try.
No problem.
Let me try.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can. Good. That's it. Can you see it now?
Yes, I can.
Okay, very good. So this is what I have started to write. So, religion is a natural instinct of all human beings and includes fundamental aspirations such as the desire to find meaning in life, the search for knowledge and understanding, a sense of community and communion with others, and especially with a higher power, a sense of happiness and satisfaction based on the feeling of a clear conscience, a sense of connection with one's roots and origins, and so on. There are two broad categories of religions. One, authoritarian, and two, non-authoritarian. Authoritarian religions are based on some type of historical revelation by what is considered a higher authority, such as a prophet, a founder, a Purna avatar, etc., who reveals what is considered the orders of God. The followers of such religions are required to believe blindly, to be loyal and faithful, to comply with the orders or commandments without questioning, and to accept whatever the religious authority says. Can you see here?
Yes.
The orders of the religious authority are presented as superior to any other consideration, especially about ordinary ethics and morals, including compassion, non-violence, tolerance, logic, and good sense. I would say intelligence. Okay, here, let me add. Conscience, human cooperation, and natural respect and affection towards well-loved persons. Non-authoritarian religions are based on the personal experience of what we could call spirituality. They accept the need of learning from the teachings of more experienced persons, also through books, but they encourage each individual to verify the validity of such teachings through personal research, also confronting with one's natural inner conscience of good and evil, learning from various sources, critically observing the results of the application of the teachings, and so on. So, what are they? Question mark. Authoritarian religions are opposed to scientific research, while non-authoritarian religions accept the value of objective and critical analysis, verification and experimentation. Authoritarian religions give great importance to the historicity of their revelation through one particular prophet or leader, while non-authoritarian religions value a number of contributions from different personalities along the entire duration of time, considering them as various perspectives on the same one reality. Non-authoritarian religions are fundamentally dharmic, which means they are based on the natural, eternal, universal principles of ethics, while authoritarian religions consider dharma as human relativism or speculation that must be disregarded when it contradicts the orders of God. Sometimes the word dharma is translated as religion, but that is quite inaccurate. The word religion derives from the ancient Latin religare, meaning to connect, connecting each human being to God and to the members of the same community. This applies to all religions. The word dharma derives from the ancient Sanskrit dhar, meaning to support, supporting the coexistence and cooperation of all beings as members of the universal community, irrespective of their particular beliefs, race, nationality, and even species. Dharma is what supports the existence, awareness, and happiness of everyone in the universe, both at the individual and at the collective levels.
So Dharma, Mataji, is like the foundations underpinning the existence of everything, basically. It's the foundational principles underpinning the existence of all creatures as well, basically, in essence.
That's why, we connect with what you were expecting me to say, that God is the total sum of existence.
Yes. What you've gone here is to say, first of all, there's authoritative religion, which is my prophet said this, therefore it must be followed.
My Sampradaya says this.
Yeah. And then you've got the non-authoritative religion, which says there is this dharmic structure underpinning the existence of everything. So that's the first bit we've learned so far, Matt.
Exactly. Because when people think that Vaishnava means a sect, they are totally off target already.
So of course. So Mataji, this is interesting because you've gone to sort of differentiate the two, but are there not within non-authoritative religions? Because some would say, so this is a free-for-all, is it? The cynical Abramist would say, it's a free-for-all.
Yeah, it's a free-for-all, of course, yes.
It's a free-for-all, is it?
Yeah. We like freedom. We like freedom. The point is that God gives us freedom.
No, but what they say is, where are your rules then? It's anything.
No, we don't have rules. We have principles. We have values. We don't have rules. Vishwamitra ate a dog when he was a Brahman. He was a rishi.
Yeah.
So, what? What, you're drinking coffee? What's your problem?
Yeah.
Abrahamics have commandments.
Yes,
they have rules.
They have commandments. Thou shalt not kill.
And then they kill because they shall not kill. They never killed, right?
No, exactly. But what they would say is, they're just people. They're deviants. If you follow our religion,
they're subhumans. They're going.
You shouldn't steal. You shouldn't steal. You shouldn't do this. They say that these things are necessary to keep humanity in check. Whereas if it's a free, I'm only playing Asura's advocate. But if it's a free for all, then anything goes. What would you say to that, Matter? In terms of
anything goes, in the sense that God leaves us the freedom to experiment. But there is something that is called karma.
Yes, absolutely. Now we're getting to the crux of it. Yes,
which is a scientific principle. It's a law of the universe. It's a scientific law, like gravity.
Yes.
God is not punishing you. is not blessing, giving you special favor. Krishna in Gita says, I do not favor anyone, I do not hate anyone.
Yes.
Whatever people do, they make a mess, that's because they're stupid.
Yes.
So, it's a perfect system. And God, it's not that God doesn't care. Because God constantly tries to give us good advice. But, as we see in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna at the end of Bhagavad Gita tells Arjuna, okay, now, my dear Arjuna, I explained to you the whole thing under all the possible perspectives. Now think about it and then decide what you want to do. That is freedom. It's freedom to learn. If without freedom we cannot learn anything. Because some people are intelligent enough to learn without getting beaten by karma. Because they have the intelligence. Other people need to see others getting bad results from bad actions. Some people need to get the bad results themselves from their own bad actions to understand that those are not good actions. Some people will take longer. But that's the beauty of the union. That's the beauty of freedom.
So what you've said is, because when the Abrahamists say, oh, we have the Ten Commandments, well, we have karma. And karma.
No, it's not that we have karma.
No, it's not.
Everybody has karma.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
What I'm saying, we meaning that.
Yeah.
So not, dharmic faiths have a principle called karma.
Where, it's not a principle. No.
It's a law.
It's a law, the universal law, scientific universal, like gravity. It's not. You don't say we have gravity.
So absolutely,
gravity is not a principle.
So absolutely. So when a man kills another man, there's going to be karmic retribution for that act, effectively, which is important.
Yeah, you don't need someone to tell you don't kill.
That's right.
Because your instinct, your conscience, your knowledge, your understanding of good and evil will tell you that's bad to kill someone.
So here I am again as this covert Abrahamist, and I'm going to say to you, well, if that's the case, why is there any need for police in Vedic society? There is no need for
police in Vedic society. There is no police, no judges, no lawyers, no jails, nothing. The Kshatriya only has the duty to protect the prajas from aggressions. Because this is a natural right of every being. Every living being has the right to protect himself from aggressions. And if he cannot do it, someone who will be the kshatriya will take care of helping the subject. But in the original system, in Satya Yuga, there is only one varna. They're all brahmanas. They're all paramahamsas.
Yes.
It is said, it's explained that with the degradation of society, because that's a natural thing also, things start well and then they become a little worn out, wear and tear.
Yes. Yes, of course, until they finally break down.
And they finally, they start by breaking down, with the aggressions from the outside and from the inside sometimes.
Yes.
So the kshatriya is required. Then, when human society further becomes, degraded, nature doesn't give sufficient things for everybody's satisfaction.
Yes.
So you need Vaishyas.
Yes.
And then when human society further degrades, some people are just too stupid to do anything else, so they need to, they need to be taken care of by someone who will be responsible for them. And those are they love the Shudras.
Indeed, so what you're saying is the Varna system is a consequence of the natural degradation
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
things from the golden age
But
when you only had one
the
Varna.
Varna
Yeah.
system, as
Yes.
explained for the various yugas, has
Yes.
scientific rules. The Varna system has
Yes.
rules.
Yes.
Hinduism
True.
doesn't have rules, but the Varna system has rules. But they're normal rules. They're not religious rules.
Yes.
They're legal rules. Means if you want to be a teacher, you cannot have absolute power over the lives of people who are not your students.
Yes. Yes.
Because what are they going to learn?
Yes.
So, the Brahmana has different duties from the Kshatriya. The Kshatriya has different duties from all the others, They're all, the rules, the duties, they're not exactly rules, they're duties, which require guna and karma. Karma is also translated as duty, in this sense. Swadharma,
Yes.
swakarma.
Yes.
Okay. And the guna means the quality, the tendency, natural tendency. So each person can be perfectly engaged in the Varna Sharma Dharma and still progress and still, cooperate to society effectively,
Yes.
in a perfect manner. It is not the rules, they're instruction manual. There is a difference from a law and an instruction manual.
Yes, absolutely. And I now understand the evolution of the Varna.
Yeah.
I understand the system of karma. I understand the difference between authoritative and non-authoritative, with karma being the foundation to all living beings and their existence.
Yep.
So this bit is now clear. So, or certainly more clear. Now, I'm again adopting this role of the pseudo-Abramist. So then the pseudo-Abramist is going to say, where if you don't have prophets, if you don't have messengers, if you don't have these people, how do you receive your instructions? Where does all that come from? And then
we have a lot of them.
What is God?
It's not that we don't have teachers or prophets or rishis. We have so many of them.
Right. So this then is the question, Mataji, is they would say, Moses received the Ten Commandments, etc. The Bible was written in this way, or whatever book. What is God what do you think God is? That's going to be thrown at the Hindu. How do we respond to this, Mataji? I'd love to hear your take on this, basically.
Yeah,
move this on.
Just like we have a lot of rishis, a lot of teachers, and each brahmana is supposed to be a teacher, a prophet, because a brahmana is someone who has realized Brahman, who is expert in the Shastra. The point is that we don't have a political hierarchy. We are not restricted by legal orders and commandments and rules, because we need to use our intelligence. If you have rules and commandments and one prophet telling you what to do, how are you going to use your intelligence? You don't need intelligence. So,
but then the Abramists would say, society is not particularly good at following, at making, using their own judgments. That's why you.
That's not a fact, because if we go to see, historically speaking, wherever Abrahamic ideologies have become popular or powerful, disaster ensued immediately.
Oh, yes. Yes, for
So,
sure.
We have to see, the proof of the pudding. It's like you go and see the shamanic tribal people in the Amazon forest or the Andaman Islands. They don't have criminality, they don't have jails, they don't have judges or, whatever. But you got, they're happy. Nobody starves. Nobody is mistreated. They have no slavery.
Exactly. So that the example is there.
Yeah.
So,
and especially in the Vedic culture, we had the demonstration of the effectiveness of the Vedic culture, Vedic knowledge, Vedic culture in ensuring the maximum prosperity and happiness and, security and everything until quite recently.
Yes. And this then begs the question, Mataji, you've clarified that very, very well. But the next question, Mataji, and this is going to be in two parts. The first is, Mataji, is what is God? And the Abrahamists will say Jesus is God, or whatever they believe in is God. And it's a person, it's some figure or whatever, person in the sky or whatever. What is God, Mataji? That's the next question.
Yeah, that's another dictionary problem. Because in the general collective mind, the term God just means someone who is more powerful than you, someone that you worship.
Indeed, like a higher authority, a
higher power,
so to speak.
The bigger guy. And this is not compatible with the concept of Deva. Deva is not just someone who's more powerful than you, because Asuras are more powerful than you, and they're worshipped. Yanti Deva Vrata Devan, Pitrin Yanti, Pitrin Vrataha, Bhujanti Yanti Bhuteja. The people are worshipping the ghosts and the Pitris and the Rakshasas and the Asuras, whatever. Well, what's the problem? So they call them gods. And in fact, the God of the Bible is exactly one of these. Is total Asura.
Yes.
And this, especially, now it's coming out because in the last, 10, 20, 15 years, with the spreading of the internet, the debate on religion, among other debates, has become very widespread. So many people have been able to present their research and their presentation, their perspectives, and the public has been able to confront these perspectives.
Yes.
And this has also brought big changes in the mainstream academic world.
Indeed. So this is for sure that simply being more powerful isn't good enough as a holistic
to be a Deva
definition. Yeah. So what about us? We know. I mean, it's very clear that our viewpoint is, there's only one truth. So tell me a little bit about how we view God. What should be the right way? Not we. Forget we.
Okay, there is only one truth that includes all the relative truths.
Indeed. So I'd love to hear your view on sort of this question, what is God to you?
So, in the Gita we find chapter 16, the characteristics of the Devas and the characteristics of the Asuras. The Param is described as Devadeva or Mahadeva, Devadeva Mahadeva, while the regular Devas are described as limbs of the body of the Supreme Brahman. But all of them have the same qualities that are described in Bhagavad Gita. You know, the Daivik Sampada. So we can see what is the meaning of Deva as compared to God. Now, the word God in Sanskrit, in Hinduism, in Vedic knowledge, sometimes is connected to the word Deva, sometimes is connected to the word Brahman, or Param Brahman, Bhagavan, Ishvara, Paramatma, you know. And this is what there is a very nice verse in Bhagavata Purana, which I quote so many times because it's beautiful. And it's, I think, chapter 1, canto 1, chapter 2, you know. It says, Vadanti tat tattvavida sattvam yajnanam advayam prameti paramatmeti bhagavan iti shabdyate. This is the best definition of God that I have found till now. So God, tat. God is tat. That. Tat is, as I elaborate in my purpose in Bhagavad Gita, because the word tat is extremely popular in the Vedic Shastra, and including Bhagavad Gita. And if we don't understand what is the meaning of tat, we get confused. Vadanti, they say, tat, that, God. Tattvavidas, those who know the tattva, who know the reality. And the tattva, the word tattva derives from tat. Tattva means the quality of being tat. Like Hindutva is the quality of being Hindu. And so on. And Purushatva is the quality of being Purusha. Okay, so tattva vidam, those who know the tattva vida, those who know the tattva. Yagyam, Advayam, non-dualistic, Unitarian, Jnanam, knowledge, awareness, Advayam, Tattvam Jnanam Advayam, Yat Jnanam Advayam. Brahmati, it is called Brahman. Paramatmati, it is called Paramatma, it is called Bhagavan. So God is Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan, which means the awareness, the consciousness that is Unitarian. And there is a very nice verse, I think, in the Chandogya Upanishad that is also giving the same description. God is the Unitarian, multiform awareness. Personal, it's one existence with many personalities. That it's Unitarian. That's why Bhaktivedanta Swami was saying Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead.
Yes. Yes.
God is the Godhead. And has so many personalities.
Awareness.
Yeah.
The supreme consciousness.
Exactly.
Basically, in essence,
yeah.
Mataji. So, Mataji, what is consciousness then? Imagine I'm this Abramist saying, oh, we have this God in the sky. What's this consciousness stuff you're talking about?
But consciousness is everything. Everywhere. They don't understand. We don't need to talk to them.
No, of course. But what is, if you were to define consciousness in a nutshell, How would you phrase that, Mataji?
How you define consciousness? How you define reality? Consciousness is what is conscious. Reality is what is there. Consciousness is something, something that perceives, something that experiences, something that tastes.
Yes. Yes.
But beyond the material senses, beyond the mind.
Yes, adokshaja.
Like adokshaja. Yeah, like the Chandogya Upanishad. The Atman, the Upanishad is saying, what that which is in the eye that sees is the Atman. That's consciousness.
So Mataji, with that, in mind, then imagine the pseudo-Abramist. I'm playing this role.
It's not the pseudo-Abramist. It's the Abrahamic.
I'm playing
barrister.
Asura's advocate that then says, well, what about this Krishna figure? You say God is this supreme consciousness.
Yeah.
You say God is this supreme awareness. You say God is beyond the senses.
Yeah.
But here you have figures of Krishna. What's all that about? Are you saying God's a person or not? Where does that come into?
But consciousness is personal. Is many persons. All the persons. Krishna is one manifestation of this consciousness, of the supreme, general, complete consciousness. And Krishna in Bhagavad Gita says, when Arjuna asked Krishna, how should we meditate on you? You are in Parambrahman, okay. How should we meditate on you? And Krishna says, I am the taste of water. So people who think they are devotees of Krishna, and they have not understood what Krishna says of himself in Bhagavad Gita, they're just projecting their own fantasies, or the fantasies of someone else. Krishna is not limited. Krishna is the supreme consciousness. Is the totality. Yes. Vasudeva Sarvamiti.
Yes.
Yes. They don't know what Krishna is. In fact, Krishna Gita says, I was an Antima Buddha. The Buddha, they cannot understand me.
Yes.
Yeah, thanks. Okay, if they're Buddha, why should we waste?
No, that makes complete sense, Mataji. Obviously, I'm playing Asura's advocate here, so I'm just asking the questions that may come up in everyday conversations with people asking us about it.
The point is that these people who ask questions like that, they don't want the answers.
Of course.
And then, if someone doesn't want the answers, why should we bother?
Of course.
Usually, when I find people like that who ask questions like that to Quora, depending on how I feel they're sincere or not, but indeed. I block a lot of people.
Indeed. So, on that next point,
okay.
This leads us nicely, Krishna leads us nicely to perhaps a very important topic.
Vaishnavism.
Which is, so, and again, Mataji, what is a Vaishnava? What is an authentic Vaishnava? You've already mentioned that Vaishnavism is not a sect. What is a Vaishnava, Mataji? I'd love to hear your take on it.
A Vaishnava is someone who has realized Vishnu, who is worshipping Vishnu at some level. There are different levels of Vaishnavas. The Kanishta, Madhyama, Uttama. But
So, Mataji, let's take it to a very basic level. What is the realization of Vishnu? I mean, the
realization of Vishnu is basically the fact of focusing one's meditation on Vishnu, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, which is what Krishna in Gita, describes as bhakti. But bhakti means hearing about God, about Vishnu, hearing about it, studying, trying to understand, listening, discussing, remembering, trying to understand. And when Vishnu says, I am, Shiva is non-different from me, when you say, no, but Shiva is different from Vishnu. Okay, then what are you meditating on? What are you listening to?
This then leads me to another question.
Yeah.
We've covered this a lot, but I think there's no harm in repeating this, which is, can you be a Vaishnava without recognizing in your practice, in your sadhana, because you've mentioned Smaranam, Kirtanam, Shravanam, you've mentioned all those things on Vishnu, but can you be an authentic Vaishnava without the recognition of Shiva and Shakti and the divine feminine, Mataji?
Not really. You will be an offensive Vaishnava. Means you're still trying to meditate on Vishnu, but you're just, you're ignorant. You're very limited. And if you don't fix your offenses, you're going to lose everything. Not only your spiritual, chances, but also your punya.
Excellent. So, on that note, Mataji, let's say I am a Vaishnava. How do I incorporate the divine feminine in my sadhana, Mataji? Very simple terms. So, I accept this, but how do what is the purpose of the divine feminine, Mataji?
It's not the purpose. The divine feminine is the form, is the name, is the qualities, is the lila, is the teachings, is the knowledge. The Shastras are very clear, especially all the Shastras, the Shruti, they're very clear. Well, Vishnu and Lakshmi are one and the same. You say, Vishnu is a speech and Lakshmi is the words.
So,
you cannot separate them. Because the speech cannot be manifested without words.
So it's offensive to think that the purpose of the divine feminine is to bring you, quote unquote, closer to Krishna. That's not the role. It's not just a Maya type role, is it?
Maya, we have Yoga Maya and Mahamaya. Yoga Maya, without Yoga Maya, Krishna doesn't even have a form, doesn't even have a name. Vishnu doesn't have a form or a name without Yoga Maya.
Wonderful. That's what I wanted to know, because there's a common misconception that the divine feminine's role is simply to bring you closer to the divine masculine. That's not true, is it, Mataji, basically?
You cannot separate. But this is also clear to all people who have at least some understanding. You cannot separate Shakti from Shaktiman. Because without Shakti, Shaktiman is not Shaktiman.
Absolutely.
But that makes no sense.
Absolutely. So then my next question, Mataji, sorry, it's a rapid fire question.
Yeah. We are wrapping up.
Yeah. But my next point is Shiva. You've clarified the divine feminine really well. Let's say I'm your average modern Vaishnava who's got lots of misconceptions. I don't need to pretend to be that. I am that. What about Shiva? How do I see Shiva? How do I incorporate Shiva without being offensive?
But all the Shastras are saying that Shiva and Vishnu are one and the same. Shiva is like, the Brahma Samhita, which our friends should know very well, says that Shiva is just Vishnu when he's in contact with the material energy. And we have seen even in Chaitanya Charitamrita again, which is a pretty sectarian book. It's not a Shruti, of course, it's a Kavya.
Yes.
The
Yes.
Kaviraj wrote the Kavya. Still,
Yes.
when Krishnadas tries to explain Advaita Acharya as a manifestation of Vishnu, he clearly said it's Sadashiva. Vishnu is Sadashiva, is the eternal Shiva.
Yes.
And if you read the Vishnu Sahasranam, how many names of Shiva are there? So, I don't know. It's many.
No. I love this because this has integrated the three paths into one effectively.
Oh, but that's the Brahman is one and manifests in forms, the three main forms. Like the famous, now I don't remember which Upanishad is that, but the Yajnavalkya is, I think it's Brihadaranyaka. Yajnavalkya was asked, how many gods are there? And then Sanat Kumar says, okay, yeah, well, we have 33, and then, and again Yajnavalkya is asking, how many gods are there? I say, no, there are 12, there are 3, there are 2, there is 1. There is 1. The entirety of existence is 1. So when people speak of monotheism versus polytheism, they don't know what they're talking about.
Yes, indeed. And you said that we are the ultimate monotheistic.
Exactly.
Everything is Brahman.
Yeah.
Everything is Brahman.
Exactly. You cannot have more monotheistic than that.
Right. Next question,
Okay.
Mataji. Really important. These are really important pillars. What is the difference? And again, we've spent a long time talking about this, but in a nutshell, what is the difference between the spiritual world and the material world? What's the difference between matter and spirit?
Again,
Mataji,
consciousness, awareness. Nothing else. Everything is actually spiritual. We only see things as material because of our identification, our limited understanding, our limited manifestation of consciousness. That's why the Kanishta Adhikari is defined as someone who sees God only in the temple, or only in the Shastra, or only here, only there. While the Uttama Adhikari sees everything as God. God everywhere. So, if God is everywhere, where is the material world? God is non-different from the spiritual world, right? So,
yes.
If God is everywhere, there logically it ensues that the spiritual world is everywhere. Oops.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So then, Mataji, my next question is, what's the difference between Tat and Asat, that which is temporary and that which is not, basically?
You mean Sat and Asat?
Yes, indeed, Sat and Asat. Sorry, my mistake.
Okay. Yeah, well, Sat is Yogamaya. Asat is Mahamaya. It's a difference of perception. It's a difference of manifestation. Sat is eternal. Asat is temporary. Sat is good in a sense that which is permanent, real, is good. Asat is not good in the sense that something temporary and real is only going to create suffering.
Yes, absolutely. That is very important. Mataji, my next question is, you have talked about dharma, and you've talked specifically regarding karma and the gunas, obviously as being integral. what are the pillars of Dharma, Mataji? If someone wants to say, oh, tell me about this structure that underpins all living beings and all society, what are the pillars of
Yeah.
Dharma, if you were
The
to summarize
principles
them?
of Dharma are often listed as 1. Satyam, meaning honesty, truthfulness, transparency, search for truth. Dayam, meaning compassion, non-violence, kindness, benevolence towards all beings, mutual support, help and assistance, solidarity, etc. 3. Socham, meaning cleanliness, purity, purification, simplicity, etc. Tapas, meaning personal effort, self-discipline, serious dedication, etc. These are the 4 legs of Dharma which we find in the Bhagavata Purana, beginning of the Bhagavata Purana, when
Yes, with a bull.
yeah,
With a bull.
yeah,
Yeah, with a bull and
yeah,
Parikshit
the bull,
Maharaja.
yeah.
So
Dharma
what you're saying,
is depicted as a bull.
so what you're saying, Mataji, is in a dharmic society, karma is there. Well, karma isn't everywhere, but what I'm saying is
Yeah,
because of
exactly.
karma,
Yeah.
the principle of karma is upheld in dharma, in a natural, because there's natural law. But
Karma
yeah,
is
yeah,
the law of learning.
indeed,
Then we have in human society, in all human society, the purposes of human life are the Purusharthas, the 4 Purusharthas,
yes,
Dharma,
yes,
Artha, Kama, Moksha.
yes,
Dharma means, first of all, you have to learn, you have to understand, you have to get the
yes,
basics.
yes.
Then you can, get yourself comfortable, get organized with Artha, which whatever value, things of value you need to do your work, to do your job.
Okay,
Then,
so
yeah. Then.
absolutely. So, Mataji, my next question really follows on from that, which is, what's moksha? What's liberation in a nutshell, Mataji? In Hinduism, what do you guys mean by this liberation business? What's all that about, Mataji?
Yeah, that is the force of the main purusharthas, or purposes of human life. Moksha literally means liberation. Liberation from conditionings.
Yes.
Liberation from material identifications, material attachment. Liberation from all the sources of suffering. Liberation from karma. Liberation from reincarnation. Liberation from
Mataji,
needs. Yeah.
so this leads precisely to my next question, which is,
Okay.
in our religion, we go to heaven, or we go to this place. What do you guys? Do you not have a heaven? What happens if you?
No.
behave
We
really badly?
Hinduism, certainly has a heaven. It's called Svarga. But people go to Svarga not because they have obeyed the whimsical, cruel orders of a psychopath. They go to heaven if they have developed the same qualities of the devas, meaning, taking care, proper care, and supporting and working selflessly for the benefit of all beings. Then you become Yanti Deva Vrata Devan. You follow the example of the devas and you go and stay with the devas. That's called the Swarga, what we call heaven.
Yes.
But if someone attains moksha, they can go anywhere they want. Well, if you are free, you can go to Swarga, you can take birth again, and as avatar, you can do whatever you want.
So, what's all this Vaikuntha place? Who goes there, Mataji?
It's not a place.
Yes, absolutely.
It's a state of consciousness. When you're free, you don't have anxieties. Vaikuntha literally means no anxiety, no worry. So, whenever you are free from material identifications, attachments, fear, desires, you're free, you're not anxious. A
So it's
sense of
not a
freedom,
place.
freedom from anxiety.
So it's not a place where
Nope.
necessarily you will meet Shri Krishna and the gopis.
No.
It's that's slightly different. Is that right,
Because
Mataji? Basically,
if you think that Krishna and the gopis are on a limited planet,
yes, yes,
you have a materialistic view of Krishna and the gopis and the spiritual world.
yes, correct, absolutely.
That's not correct. It's a fantasy. It's a projection. It's a parable. It's a symbol. You know, it's a falashruti. You know what a falashruti means?
No,
Falashruti is a verse or explanation that is attached to stutis or mantras or recitations of various kinds, which explains the good results, the benefits that you get from reciting that stuti.
I
So
understand.
if you listen or you recite that, meditation or what, then you can get all these benefits. Like in the Falashruti of the Vishnu Sahasranam is very interesting. Say, if you're a Brahmana, a Brahmana by reciting or listening to the 1000 names of Vishnu will get the knowledge, a Kshatriya will get power, someone who's sick will get health and this and that. It's a Falashruti, it's advertisement. To attract
Final
people.
question.
Yeah,
Final
final.
question,
Okay.
Mataji. Tell me about the original position of the Atman. If we are taught that most Atman don't take up a material body. This is what we're told. Most of
No,
them belong in the Brahma Jyoti.
that's not in the Shastra.
Please tell us what our understanding should be, Mataji.
The Jivatmas, many people have asked this question, and usually I refer to one very interesting explanation I got from Guru Govinda Swami many years ago, that the Jivatmas are the Vaibhava, means the Shakti of the Paramatma, is the Brahma Jyoti. They're the radiance of the body of Vishnu when he manifests in this material world. So we start from the material. Everybody starts with everyone. All the Jivatmas start from the material world. But because they start from the body of Vishnu, Vishnu is not exactly in the material world, right? Because as we were saying before, Vishnu is omnipresent. Vishnu is spiritual, so everywhere is spiritual. So the spiritual world is the body of Karanodakashai Vishnu. So we are emanated, like spiritual sparks from the body of Vishnu, Mahavishnu, in this, when he manifests in this world. And then we can grow. We can develop our full potential, just like all the universe do. All the universes, they start as seeds.
So it's not a question of the Atman developing a curiosity to be away from God.
Nah.
Therefore, that's why we develop this. It's not this fallen, quote unquote, state. That's not the reason why I've got a material body today. It's because once upon a time, the Atman decided to explore.
There was a book written by one Satyanarayan, who actually left the organization. He went to take Diksha in the Gadadhara Sampradaya, the Gadadhara Parivar. And he wrote this book, in Vaikuntha not even the leaves fall. Gita is like Krishna, and Gita is saying very clearly, once you attain my dham, you never go back. You cannot fall from Vaikuntha.
So it's not as if, Mataji, this is so important because we are told that 95% of Atmans are in the Brahma Jyoti, and those that those like someone like me, it's because once upon a time the Atman, decided to be curious and to have an existence away from
This is
Brahman.
complete unfounded speculation.
So what happened to me, Mataji, to take a material body? What's my relationship, Atman-wise, to Brahman, effectively? Have I always been...
You are Brahman.
Yes.
It's not a relationship. You are Brahman, and
no,
because Brahman Brahman is Paramatma and Bhagavan. The Paramatma is the self of the self, the Atman of the Atman.
So I'm not in a material. This material body is not an unnatural state. It's not a state that is born from envy or from curiosity. How have I ended up in a? How have I ended up in a material body?
Envy, curiosity is a desire to know, which is not a bad thing.
Yes.
Which is the desire to develop our awareness and consciousness, which is normal, right? But envy, why envy? Why they keep hammering on envy? Because they don't want people to, envy their material position.
So, Mataji, what you're saying here is that the Atman, this whole idea that once upon a time there were loads, I was an Atman in the Brahma Jyoti, and then my Atman decided that, I need to have a life away from God. That desire then led me to have a material body.
It's not the desire to have a life away from God. It's not the decision. It's a spark that goes into growing.
Yes.
It's a development. It's self-realization. It's a realization of the self. We realize, we develop our potential.
Indeed. So Mataji, what is why is it that some Atman have a material body and others don't?
Ooh.
Do we know the reasons why, or is this something that...
Why? Who are the Atmans who don't have a material body?
I don't know. My understanding was that the vast majority of Atmans don't have a material body. This is not true, Mataji. This is not true, please.
No.
That's helpful, because this is a misconception that is sometimes
it's a speculation. Where is it written? Where is the Shastra that says that?
I've never been able to find it. That's
because there is none.
This is interesting.
Yeah.
This is interesting because I've never been able to find it, which is why I want to ask.
Because it's not there. There is none.
Mataji, this has been an incredibly helpful discussion, and I find and I'd like to thank you for your time. We've cleared up some very, very... I hope you don't mind the quick fire answers.
No, it's okay. One small thing that I want to add to this last answer.
Yes. Please.
There are Atmans who don't have a material body only after they have overcome the material limitations, so they have developed the Siddha Deha.
This is the opposite from what I was.
Exactly. It's upside down.
Atmans don't get material body because of a consequence of being.
No, it's exactly the opposite. You stop needing a material body because you have developed your consciousness fully. You have the Siddha Deha. The body is like a vehicle, right?
Yes.
You only need the vehicle when you're not able to walk and run and fly and do stuff.
Indeed. That is very, very important. And again, big misconception that I had about the Brahma Jyoti, the Atman, the original constitutional position was for all Atman was that once we were in the Brahma Jyoti, we became curious, we drifted away, the fall, so to speak, quote unquote.
It's a fantasy. It's a fantasy.
Mataji, thank you so much for your time. It's been an absolute pleasure. My obeisances to you.
Thanks to you. Thank you very much. We'll meet again.
Thank you. Meet again. Take care. Jai. Jai Shri Ram.
Okay.